Yeah, we're good to go. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. So we just started the recording now newly of our first, let's call it summer stream of the Infinite and AlphaBlock market updates. We were just touching base on cards, the cards token itself, as you can see here nicely in the TradingView stream. Before that, I was testing out other platforms and we had a little technical error, but basically, I think that cards in itself, or I think also we believe, like I can almost speak like for our communities, because the thing is like this, um, the utility of the fact that you can rip packs, you have your NFTs really as a not only like as a token that maybe grants you some utility in the future, but literally the one-on-one physical collectible being claimable, being tradable, and in the future now maybe also with a new utility usable that has been teased by the team around Loopscale, and that is loans for your collectibles on chain. So how could that work? How could it look like? How much liquidity could it bring? And I think an extreme amount, whereas liquidations here would never really affect a token price. Let's say the Fidgetal's token price, the cards like from collector's crypt token price, because how this would work is basically like in a pawn shop. So let us say you have a base set Charizard in a certain condition and the average market value is $4,000 for it. And now I do not believe that you can get anything close to $3,000 or $4,000 per Charizard. But what I do believe is that we have like 50% LTV, like loan to value um, ratios, which means if an item is worth $100, you will probably be able to loan out $50, and I bet that the interest will be quite steep, but not horrible. Um, but that could offer us a lot of alpha plays for the future, a lot of interesting plays, because number one is, yes, always scouting to buy cards below value. But then again, like if you are like, as an example, Don and me, if you are really into collectibles and if you really believe that this can be something for the future, um, in that case, I think this is an outstanding play, an option to have, because if a card would default, the loan, if someone would not pay it back, you would be sniping a great asset that has an extreme probability of rising in value. For like 50%, you wouldn't even be scouting anymore. So I think for me, it would not be like taking out loans. For me, it would rather be like providing liquidity there, because I would basically buy any card in the world that I can for a 40-50% discount. And if otherwise people just take loans and you can earn like, let's say, what could that be, like 1, 2, 3% on your stable coins, then that is something like probably the biggest first step into like DeFi with NFTs that like really make sense. A first teaser towards products being built at the end of our bear market, leading us into the next bull market, which is like also the reason why I really wanted to share this chart here from cards, which basically resembles every really properly working company like that. So I am taking like as a line the first huge sell off from the initial run, which got multiple times retested and which acted as a top 1, 2, 3 times, which was here the retest. So for to continue the current very healthy looking rally, I think literally just buying from here and DCAing lower is the play. Even if you would be able to leverage cards at some point, I really think you should just buy such projects, such coins, spot. I do not think you should buy your Pokemon cards, mangas, One Piece cards with a loan from the bank so you can afford it. I don't think this is this should have anything to do with leverage, and I think that's also beautiful. I think there is a completely real chance that and this is a Solana token, that every Solana token, every altcoin can go down 20 to 40%. This is not bearish. This would still be an extremely bullish retest. Okay, like even if we go down here or even to 30 million, we had such a crazy run, like we just 5x. It's totally normal to have a retrace. I do believe that Bitcoin can walk closer towards 90,000. And I do believe that also if a Bitcoin, yeah, like currently, like I hedge shorted here, we did not fully hit my target. I would like a little bit lower, maybe a chance towards the $78,000 region. Let me zoom in, to really flip long again with size. I will be starting to DCA here with the ultimate target of the Fibonacci extension towards something in the area of 90,000. I will make that a little bit more clear, because charts can always tend to look a little bit messy or busy if you're trying to anticipate a little bit more into the future. So I will quickly clear that up, as I have prepared it for us already. And this is basically okay here. I think this is perfectly visible. I will include the area. I would love us to get that liquidity here for a move upwards, followed by a retrace from something like 90,000, a little bit lower. It could be very well that this will just be it with the retrace. But I think one more time paying throughout the summer, even though it sounds like I want to take away from fun or as if this is negative. No, we've spoken about this many times, and the chats are always aligned here. It would be solely a gift. We are very much aware that we can just go up, but with all the stuff that is happening, there is a quite realistic chance. I will stick with that idea that from some point, be that 80, 85, 90, doesn't matter, there will be another buying opportunity and we will take it. Right now we are in a bullish structure. We hang on to that bullish structure. And even if we go higher, and even if there will be the big retrace, I will not sell all my Monero, my Solana, my cards or anything. What I'm doing, what we keep doing is favoring longs, buying dips. And if we get closer to 90K, I very much advise heavier profit taking. So we can really load up on the opportunities that are arising. But for now, I think rather being focused on buying the dips and using shorts just like as intraday hedges, this is the play in my opinion. I will just type it out for all our communities to see. Current play stays rebuying / longing dips with a medium term target of 90,000, followed by the potential summer cool off before we head into the bull market post summer. Jim Witterleiting. What I think what's really remarkable is how many days, and I think that's really an interesting and important observation, how many days in a row Solana kept outperforming Ethereum as we have right now. That's why I have this this tab open here on the side, as you can see. I really like just using this without even charts or any complexity to just use this by looking at it, because I think it makes like strength crystal clear, and you see strength at the moment really lies in the Solana ecosystem. Like how funny is it? Even Ethereum Classic is outperforming Ethereum. That's not what you want to see. and seeing just a tiny bit of green, like there's not much movement. Injective doing really great, same as Sui. So you see like the chain tokens itself. Link, I think Near had some really big news, but I don't really believe them. Like Near is said that they had a protocol update towards post quantum encryption. Today you cannot know how effective quantum computing in the future will be. So I think that's very much of a marketing gimmick. Near claims that if you send those privacy boosted transactions, then by sending the transaction, basically your private keys start shuffling the order, which then in the end would also mean that somewhere would have been a safe or an array at least, so that they don't accidentally shuffle the encryption in a word that like one person now has the keys of a person that had it in the, like I just think it's too much of a marketing gimmick. But at least you see a little bit of movements. At least you see moves, and I think the move that's clear right now is that Solana is definitely outperforming Ethereum, and we have an extremely decent chance. Wow, this is really nice bounce of the EMAs on the 30-minute. This is really some decent momentum bounce off the point of control. First level of interest is obviously here, right around the corner. Within 1%, but this looks to me like a decent expansion. I just think Bitcoin can see technically, as I mapped out here, I see that Bitcoin could easily retrace 2%, which will drag this down a little bit. But if we get a retest of Solana in the mid 80s region, then I do believe, let me switch to the hourly so we can chart it nicer. Then I believe, and you see also how the point of control is forming in this area, this should be an extremely decent relonging opportunity. Goes ahead with the 0.5 Fibonacci level, same as the golden pocket. So I think that this area here would just offer a really nice expansion should we be able to get it, because there will be quite the cluster above the extension between 95 and 100 for Solana. So this would be a dream to relong, and I mean really this whole entry area. When I am trading something like this, I usually let in this sort of basically the pyramid that you are using, let's say 3 orders. The smallest is in the beginning, then where you have like usually like if you would just trade mechanically like this, then you would only get filled at 84.6. So I would start scaling in at a 0.5, so 85.85. Then the second one here at like 84.7, and then a third one below 85. Let me just mark that out here. Yeah. Entry like this. Obviously, if we are not doing the retest, then this will just be a resting limit order. But if this hits, you have a golden entry, in my opinion. Or a bullish retest on Solana in the mid 80s region. The red triangle resembles the recommendation of laddering into positions with 3 to 5 orders, whereas the first order is usually the smallest, with the last order having biggest size. In extremely bullish momentum or bearish momentum, you can shift it in the way that the biggest order is the first one, so you don't miss your trades. But right now, this isn't the case. Yeah, why is this not the case? Let's just look at the charts. Why is this not in extreme momentum? Because basically, like right now in the stream, we just had this spike up, and while I was speaking, price already went down like 30% of the move. Why do I not think this is an extremely bullish or bearish area? Because if I zoom out a few weeks, we are just where we were 5 weeks ago. Price is basically like just the whole time crabbing. Every time we make a move up, it down, up, down, up, down. Like we're chopping so much. I rather just have a small entry in the beginning. And if you are right and you have a small entry, okay, cool. So do you want to complain that you were right and just made money without losing money? I don't think so. But I just think it's extremely unnecessary in the current environment to run into the chance of losing a lot. You will be so sorry for yourself. Look how much it retraced already. Okay, like I just want to want to make it clear. Like this is actually comedy. Yeah, maybe we just continue pumping. I'm happy, but this is exactly what I mean. Okay, so here on the 6th, we went up 1.2%, down 2%, up. Like this is amazing for scalping, but I'm just saying this is neither extremely bullish nor bearish. This is amazing for day trading. Yeah, just get in and out and take the money. But here we had a little spike up, then we had a little spike down 0.5%, then we just went up 1.1%. And while we're speaking, it's retracing half of the move. Then the next candle is here, pop, 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 pop. And then you want to scale in, yeah, if something really cool happens. But breakout traders really got wrecked lately. Like if you think like, oh, this is the break above and you're long here, you're in pain, you're still underwater. Oh, cool. I'm doubling the size of my long because this confirms the bullish breakout. Pop, 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 pop. Horrible. Yeah. So I think at the moment, limit orders, waiting for like a little retrace. As I said, repeating this one last time. I think we rather want to be tighter to value areas. The sell-off can still happen. Cards is looking really interesting, which resembles all the collectibles. I'm looking forward to loans being possible that people can take and give loans, provide liquidity, take liquidity for their collectibles. To 90%, I will not be taking loans. The only moment when I would take a loan on a Pokemon card maybe is if there would be like an extreme pump of like 200-300% in a card. But even then, just list it like 10-20% below value to get out really quickly. I think the alpha play is to provide liquidity as usual for people that worked extremely great in the normal NFT market bull run back then until loans just collapsed and then it defaulted into your loans and you had a big problem. But I don't see an underlying problem for the collectibles because it already pumped and got so big with Pokemon. Now One Piece is coming. Now mangas are being added. It's just a matter of time until other collectibles are being added, until like some cool antiques art is properly on chain. Yeah. So I think this is the current movement right now, a big renaissance for collectibles, for DeFi, for everything. And I posted and said it so often in the last 1-2 weeks. Solana ecosystem, green. Yeah, Fartcoin green, with green. Chew Pepe. Pepe is the only coin on the Ethereum chain that is green currently, but Ethereum itself is red. Ethereum Classic is green. Like Solana is in such a good place. In my opinion, Solana is getting great momentum. Pith also looking decent. Also looking decent. I'm still underwater on my DCAs a little bit. Doesn't matter, the stop loss literally a zero for those. Those are not the fancy charts or plays that I'm giving where it's like important, are you right or wrong? I just believe that this is good tech. I think this is this and something like Monero or Zcash or cards. Those are just coins. They are really cool to hold. Leverage, I would only add if we are really in bullish conditions, but especially for privacy stuff or collectible stuff, yeah, or an oracle like Pith. I think it's actually good and smart to hold the coins. Same with hype. Yes, you can leverage trade hype as well, but I'm just saying like those are coins that I think that are actually good to own. Same as Sol. If you only leverage trade Sol, then you pay also the fees, right? Like, of course, I leverage trades whole, but if a coin offers you like 6 or 7% APR for staking, I think it's just smart to hold it. I want to hold my Bitcoins as well. But then there are a lot of examples where there is no need to hold it. Yeah, like those meme coins here or XLM, fart coin. I don't want to own fart coin. But it's one of the best coins if Solana has bullish momentum to leverage trade to the upside. Yeah, look at look at this, how clean it is, especially as we saw. Okay, cool. Solana has a strength, and it's basically in something like in up only territory. If you go to the hourly chart, if you just trade based off the diamonds, when you see like, okay, we are on the bottom of our ATR bands, on the bottom, like RSI is oversold. We are hitting the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. Those are just comfy longs. And then for such coins, I think you can just play it nicely long only because, yes, this also hit the local tops before the retraces nicely. But I think if Solana looks good, then you can treat something like Fartcoin as a nice long only trade because once those memes start running and you are in shorts, either your stop loss will immediately get hit just for the coin to just like how horrible is this? You try to short something like this while it steamrolls you. We know that also coins like Dogecoin, they can. You see this like if you try to anticipate like the top here. I don't think that's super smart because when the memes start running, people are really desperate for that. And what I do think, what's interesting, what I prepared here in the correlations tab, you see that a lot in TradFi is starting to, let's say, not like lose the momentum, but yes, of course, we're not speaking about hardware here because hardware is just on a run until that in exclamation marks bubble is bursting. Yeah, I very much believe that SanDisk and Nvidia and Intel are great stocks, but this is a bit much, no? Like I'm happy for our backs. I'm happy for everyone, but I think buying Intel here, like this is suicide. I genuinely believe that this stuff will come down, and this is some some of the reason why I believe that there is a real decent chance also for crypto to just not collapse, but to just have a healthy retest. Um, because I believe when, let's just say here, healthy retest, I think if a company like Intel goes down 30%, which then also will affect the S&P 500, I don't think this will be the best day for Bitcoin in human history. Also, the fact that oil is literally only trading like a complete shitcoin. It looks like the fart coin chart. Those are just things that make me not worry, but wary. Like it made me aware. And yeah, here cool example of like a little oracle update as we had from the stream where we said that it might be a good idea to be longing here to play some upside if we have a retest that will be good. Here is a huge resistance level, which was the level where it went down again over 10%. We are at that level again. So if we can flip that, I think those are really great times for more upside on Oracle. I think it's a bit of an undervalued company. But yes, since other coins, oh my God, sorry, since other stocks, major stocks, AI tech stocks that are comparable, especially in here, it's completely that sector. I think there will be another chance to load up more Oracle shares, and I do believe again that it will be a good idea. We'll just erase the indicator because we do not need it for this. To see this played out, let's say here, stay above 230 plus next. Super simple, but I would be interested in a Fibonacci retracement. Why? Because it respects them. Yeah, like this is exactly what we want to see. Yeah, something can go even into the golden pocket before expanding, but I think one of the most beautiful things is front running the golden pocket, barely taking the 0.5 before next expansion. This is bullish momentum. Like this is textbook bullish momentum. So we can delete this. And we can try the same again from here. So I would be saying that a dip is for buying. A big opportunity for the dip would obviously be here again, 0.5 towards the golden pocket, front running slightly with a full target here. Okay, making this a little bit bigger. Think some retest is incoming before we expand. Nicely. This is a healthy chart. This is a chart that is trading extremely technical. It's extremely level to level. The underlying company, in my opinion, like, yeah, the problem is that they do not write black numbers, they're writing red numbers. I think that's a little bit unfair to say or to compare actually, because nothing about OpenAI is profitable at the moment besides fundraising and besides like investing with borrowed money and money that they get to invest. Like basically this is like the huge thesis, right? That's a problem in the tech space right now, because everyone is just getting like, oh, we need to raise funds for more computing. Then they get funds, then they get deals from computing companies, then they receive the money from investors, invest their money into stocks, announce the partnership, the stock price is going up, then they can get bigger and bigger loans. This is just the sole reason why I do believe that something is brewing, whereas I'm macro bullish. Like those parabolic charts are a little bit a tad bit too much. GM Hazio and Nazgul, nice that you joined us as well. Trading extremely technical. I do not believe that people should act as if other AI companies are much more profitable, since most of them are simply getting raises and value propositions to the upside thanks to, in German we called it Vetternwirtschaft, which is basically just a description that you're giving the business that you have to your brother-in-law. Like, yeah, like you're just giving it to someone that is having a deal with you, someone that's close to you. And this is what's happening in the tech space right now. Mutual agreements of investing into each other. Also, let's not forget that the founder of Oracle was, for a short amount of time due to the stock price before their collapse, richer than Elon Musk. You will not get those companies to zero. There's also no need for that. There is space for everyone. Another ridiculous thing that happened was GameStop offering to buy eBay like crazy. This is really crazy. Like eBay on the day then when they said they want to buy, GameStop went down 1%, eBay went up 10%. They do not have the money. And I don't think it's interesting for eBay that has so much positive cash flow to have GameStop buying them out. Maybe I'm fully wrong, but I just don't see why eBay would want to be controlled from GameStop. What is interesting is how much GameStop is coiling up. What is interesting is that there seems to be no momentum in the markets in that sense, apart from the current AI bubble that we're seeing. What do I mean with this is GameStop had such a run. GameStop had such a culture, like meme culture. That's what I mean with culture. And now GameStop announces that they want to buy eBay, and there is no movement. That means just that no one, not even their own investors, not even the hardcore GameStop investors, believe into the fact that there could be an acquisition. Yeah, let's rule out like the last parabol. Like it's just a pretty clean compression, and this will be really telling. And this is why I'm like, not that I'm disappointed, I'm not invested into GameStop at all. I believe that there will be an incredibly interesting trade that is going to set up, because what you had was this like extreme flagging, this extreme compression before ridiculous upside that only lasted for a few days, then a crash again. Like basically it's just done only with a little bit of upside. The thing is just that if history would repeat and they start being ridiculous again, like there is just a possibility of something repeating, yeah. But no angle. Like I hate doing stuff like that, but like this is real, okay? Like here's a compression, here's a compression. So I'm just saying that there is the chance. I will draw it into the chart like this. That would be here where they're meeting, okay? Like I'm just saying that there is a chance, like if something repeats, that it should be within the next months. Yeah, I'm just highlighting this here. I will also post it in the aggregator real quick. Something is brewing. And if what's brewing solely is the fact that it's coiling and breaking to the downside, then that's also fine. It will just be interesting. Maybe they already know something, that there is an extremely rich person, okay? Like, let's just say a person like Elon Musk would just think, oh, it's funny if GameStop would be buying eBay and they just receive a ridiculous amount of money or some crowdfunding, then this could very much align. But I think a lot of people are looking at the compression, and if we are at the end of it, classic GME compression once again, I believe within the next months, a big move will arise. Currently, GameStop's offer to buy eBay simply made them look like clowns. I think correlation-wise, that's it for now. I'm just scanning through them. Like Intel was an extremely clean buy. I do not believe that it's smart to invest anymore. I'm not calling short. I'm just saying like this is like in my opinion, you can argue that the fair value of Intel, like really fair value, was extremely undervalued here. Okay, it's completely fine, everything, every bit, but there is also no liquidity here. I do believe that the fair value is somewhere between here, and should something like this happen, that I will be very much invested back into Intel anywhere below $70. Okay, I think that that's something that we can do a little ticker on. And afterwards, I will be checking in the chat if someone of you wants to share something or has a request. I'm gladly taking it, but I think that's a cool idea. Right now, Oracle, we were bullish at the bottom. I still think that Oracle is a chart. It's not crazily overbought. I do believe that everything needs to cool off a little bit. Extremely technical. This is what I like to trade. Cloudflare is down 20%. What? What? I mean, nothing horrible happened, okay? Like, this is just ranging basically, and it was overvalued also for some time. Perfect. Wow. That would have been a nice trade. I completely missed it, guys. I think it's a decent investment. Like, I must do the analysis regarding news after this stream. Do you guys know something? Did you hear something about Cloudflare? Why is it down 20% today? I kind of want to invest because it's at the point of control of the last 2 years. I might invest. Might invest below $200 DCA. I think Cloudflare is a decent investment. I will not post it in the aggregator. This is interesting. I assume you guys also did not hear anything. Why is Cloudflare down 25%? I will props DCA below 200. So many sites, like, okay, what I can imagine is that some big AI company is also now doing what Cloudflare does. I don't care. I do not I love AI, I love what it's capable of, but I would never, with some IT infrastructure like that, I would rather want to see Cloudflare cooperation with something, but I will not trust with my IT security and infrastructure to some new age technology and some AI agent bot that is out for like 2 weeks. Avco as a ticker, Broadcom as the company. What I can tell you guys is that in real life, with the critical IT infrastructure for governments and stuff that I'm doing in setting up, Broadcom is so highly used, and Broadcom is everywhere, every server. Yes, this is an up-only chart, but it's also just grinding upwards time over time over time because it is being used. I would just very much appreciate a little bit of a cooldown, and I will buy more of their shares. I do believe long term, like you can just see the acceleration, right? Like this is the grind up acceleration. So I want to see the retest of this. Basically, there is stuff like Fibonacci's or horizontals. You cannot use this here because it's just grinding up because their products are being used more. But I do believe that this is a short-term top as we had it here. So should we be able to have a move towards here where you can say there is something like the point of control, something regarding here, I am interested in buying. This would be really amazing because this is something that you can consider something like a support. Like this is really nice. Yeah. It has been front run in the past. Okay. If we want to talk about the pattern that I am hunting right now, and that is the expansion. Wow, this arrow is so ugly. Is the expansion. Okay. Expansion. Retest. Here. And then just liquidity. As new higher low before next expansion. Now I'm putting, yeah, here in the brackets, this. Okay, you saw expansion, sell-off. Where could you anticipate the bottom? This is something where price already happened to trade. This is why I love the VRVP. It's front-running everything. It's just front-running everything. If you would have drawn Fibonacci, bullshit. Way lower. And this is the same here. You have the expansion, probably the high. Here was a little bit of liquidity, was immediately an extreme catalyst for more upside. I do believe something here within the next 5 to 10% might be another top. And then I do believe that we could front run as we had it here, that liquidity again. So this is the reason why I believe it makes sense to invest. And then from there, I think as you had it here, then you have another expansion. Okay. This is a really nice way, in my opinion, to trade stocks. And like I am sometimes trading them just either on Blofin or Hyperliquid with the day trades. But I think this is really cool to just be spot and chill. Broadcom as an example for expansion, followed by local medium-term tops that result in another expansion after slightly front-running and retesting recent liquidity levels. Therefore, welcoming 15%, 15 to 25% retrace of blue chip stocks like Avago. Avago Broadcom. Amazing. Cloudflare really stood out. Cloudflare is extremely interesting. Like 25% down below 200. I think it's a cool DCA. Like obviously nothing is ever financial advice, but almost every website is using Cloudflare. This is interesting. Probably there are some really big news because this is insane, but this is what I mean. The stock market is so much trading like meme coins and like shitters. It's a bit concerning. BMW. No one loves their new designs. Nothing big is happening. I'm not so bullish on automobile at the moment. We're all using Netflix. I just don't like it as a company. Might be a good investment. No level is sticking out for me here. Sorry, I cannot give a good look at this. Tesla, same as Google, is one of the companies that just always makes sense. But for me to invest without like just throwing a DC, I just believe that this area is not for buying. Let me just highlight it just for the stream, not as a public post. This is not a buying area. This is a buying area here. If you get anything below 300 again on Tesla, like a breakdown to here, amazing opportunity. But here I just don't see it. If I compare it with something like Cloudflare, where I believe, or like we had with Intel or Oracle, those were just charts. Cool. Oh, Broadcom is down now to 15%. I start DCAing. I also believe that it's interesting that Nvidia did not continue moving so aggressively anymore. Just saying, it's interesting. Zcash is on a really, really, really nice run again. Absolutely outstanding. One thing that I am just seeing that could just be, let's call it not so good, is this here. That we had the run to 300 and that this could be a fractal. So we had the run here and we could see a fractal. Okay. I'm just saying we could. I'm not saying I really do not believe that Zcash will be back at $100 or so. I'm just saying like this is not something huge, but just to have in mind, not a call. I'm not trading off of this. Whereas Monero also had a nice bounce, absolutely not as impressive as Zcash, but I mean, we do not complain about 50% upside. Okay, that would be extremely foolish. I believe Zcash and Monero and maybe also Umbra on Solana, like those privacy protocols, make sense. Maybe Near. Let's actually check the Near chart. I'm just telling you that I just want to state that I am a big fan of tech, if tech is happening, and I wish for every company to succeed if they have good intentions. But I just want to say that if Near would have really solved post-quantum encryption problem, the chart would look different. Okay, I'm just saying if this protocol would have solved one of humanity's biggest future fears, Bitcoin would be pumping and everything would be pumping because there would be no post-quantum decryption threat. Let us just assume, okay, that the rally will continue. Let us just say that they at least help with solving that. Maybe they just did not know what they were speaking about. Maybe they are, okay? Then I do believe that this here is an extremely nice level to take profit whenever you want to buy near. That's up to you. I am just highlighting that we have a few extremely clean levels that I will zoom into after pointing them out because I love how clean this is. I also think that the invalidation of near is extremely simple because you can treat this here, yeah, this like bottoms as a literal watermark, like as literal zero. And now we're zooming in because this up here, this is like, yeah, the bull run is here, whatever, but as long as we are not out of this zone here, there is nothing to be done. I'm very happy that they may have moved forward with something here. I think we must put them on the list now. Okay. I think we must put them on the list. I believe we must monitor them. I think this is a good level to trade here. 10% more, and we are running into some decent resistance. What I would be a fan of is if we are ever going to like, yeah, there can be a retest, whatever, like just in the future. And if this news breakout level can be retested, yeah, then I would love a re-entry here. Right now, while everything is looking like sketchy, to say the least, I will not just market it. Okay. But I had this as a request. I had a few questions regarding the news that near protocol solved post-quantum decryption risks. I do believe that the claim is bold and that if it was true, the whole of crypto and near would move differently. I will not blindly buy this. Should bullish momentum even hold up in a retest, I can see medium term trades to the top of the range. Okay. I think that was it from the request. Basically, most of the stuff is not really moving. Let's see, the biggest movers is near, injective, SUI, bonk, like a lot of stuff that is just being built here on top of Solana as well. Solana definitely outperforming Ethereum, also the Dogecoin not moving. Intel and price and Nokia is even an interesting one. This is really crazy. It was such a sleeper, but right now it's I just cannot get engaged into this. So if we retest, let's say something between here and here, I'm happily buying. Obviously, now everyone says like, oh yeah, at $5 I would be buying. I'm definitely not buying here, okay? But because the sell-offs are usually also quite harsh, so if there would ever be something like this, I would be wanting to buy those areas here, but right now I'm not. I think the Cloudflare nuke must be investigated, potentially between 160 and 200. Could be a really interesting DCA. I think this is definitely one of the, an exclamation mark, winners of this analysis just by being interesting. Oil is trading like an absolute shitcoin. I do not like that so much is trading like a shitcoin. Copper stays one of my favorites. I also have for the meme copper bars and everything at home. Copper and silver are great, are here to stay. Obviously, no one is just freshly discovering that, but this here is also a great level point of control. I also think that just gold is just not receiving enough love. I think investing into metals and energy is basically like the safest bet because they don't depend so much on humans or on a single company. I think silver will also have a new all-time high. I do not care how low it goes. Silver is just goated. Same as copper, really great. And lastly, S&P 500 SPX. What a ridiculous chart. This is insanity. There is nothing that I can chart here that I want to chart here. I will not just try to call the top. I will not just short it. I'm just saying like this is full-blown parabola while so many things are lining up globally. While you have literal oil trading like a shitcoin while you have gold being still down 20% from the highs. Like something is just not right. But interesting. Really good times to be trading, in my opinion. Hello, Saul and Tamara. Mm. Vitalizing says this is a good point. Meme coins and scam coins can go up 20 to 100x, whereas established coin might only do a 2 to 5x. One is therefore much safer to short than the other. Yeah, definitely. Lufthansa pumped a bit due to positive results, stinging Hangel in the fuel cost prior to future growth, I think. Yeah. Lufthansa seems extremely interesting, and this is also what I meant earlier. Like I currently have a slight problem with automobile, like BMW, Porsche, like there are a few that I'm just invested into as the good Bavarian boy that I am, but Lufthansa seems interesting. We charted it very often already, and I can just agree with myself just on the macro. I can just agree with myself much more to invest into stuff like we had it there, like when Broadcom pulls a little bit back, or Nvidia did not do, like quadrupled yesterday, or now Cloudflare is down a little bit, or a chart like this where you see technically, yeah, on a macro, it is going into the right direction. In between, you always have pumps that technically go a little bit. One second, sorry. This is super cool, super special, but like I'm just saying, like this is just interesting because the baseline is step by step, no matter how much it's going down. Here it was even higher. The baseline is never losing the bullish trend. This is what's important to me. This is why we are also never concerned. Oh my god, will Solana go to zero? Will Bitcoin go to zero? No, it will never. Like, sorry. Altcoins will definitely go to zero at some point. A lot of them did, but you know what I mean, like the big dogs. Here the baseline is correct. Some pumps are bigger than the other. Point of control. This is super interesting. Okay, this here is 8 years of charting history. This is a real point of control. This is a real line of support. And we had that a few times earlier where I was just like, nah, I don't know if we wanna buy up here, but this really looks to me like a decent macro chart. Obviously, we can easily go down 5% or whatever. Here we just have 3% down after what you said, like correctly, is a nice run up. I would be getting out when we lose this macro level, right? Like if we go here or so, I absolutely don't care. Okay, this is still for DCAing, but like if we would lose like this multi-year level here, I would be extremely concerned. But I do not see why just on a macro this wouldn't be possible. Now comes your one, let's call it nemesis moment. I think those are like decent opportunities before I speak about what could be negatively. Nice, so many different people that jumped in, stayed. Now a few new faces. You're great. Thank you. LHR is an extremely interesting asset slash company on the macro. Never lost the multi-decade bullish structure. Currently sitting comfily around point of control. Macro looking good. Only huge risk I can see, obviously, the virus. It doesn't matter to me if it's the current Hunter virus, if it is what we had with COVID. When was COVID here? It's fuck this. It was such a nice run. I do not believe that a Hunter virus could yeah, yeah. But what I could see is that a virus could lead for us to have this filled. Okay, this is like why I have this down here. I will just use this as an example that I'm done with charting. Um, just a heads up in case hantavirus or whatever extreme escalation should happen. This is where I could see those stink bits across great companies, shares, cryptos, and co. See filled. Yeah, this is just extremely important for me to say that everyone just understands what I mean with this. I will stop sharing my screen and just chat with you a little bit. This is just what I mean, and where I hope that everyone it's not important to align with anyone, but I never want to say just yeah, we have to go 20-30% down or so. I have no fun in saying that, and I don't want this, and I really am an optimist, but I'm just saying that the politicians and the regimes and whatever they're trying now or what's happening or is I'm not even saying that hantavirus is a setup. Yeah, that's not what I mean. But you do not know what the governments are doing when there is something bad happening. This is all I mean. Because if there would be a curfew again, if there would be the case of just being 2 months lockdown, 1 month lockdown, a global lockdown, I think will not happen anymore. But let's just say passenger flights would not happen for some time in Europe or so, where they love to overregulate here, then a Lufthansa stock would just go down. But that does not mean that Lufthansa is a bad company. And yeah, this is just what I wanted to point out, that there is always room for a little bit of escalation. And that's why I usually on the macro draw those two levels. The one level is just as you more often saw, let's say markets are normal, then Bitcoin will retest whatever 60, 70 Ks at some point. If something extremely crazy happens, then Bitcoin can also go towards 50 Ks. And if nothing extreme happens, then our stocks go down 10-20%. If Hunter virus really fucks us, then Lufthansa company will go down 30% again. That's my take. Kali, what's up? Nice to see you.